Midsummer Scream. Two of the most famous haunt events in the world take place on opposite sides of the U.S., but are bound by three letters. H, H, N. While both events share multiple IPs from year to year, they are both unique in their own right, earning them undying coast-to-coast love and admiration from their fans. And just as unique as each event is, so are the visionary creatives behind their production. One of them has come from the heart of Central Florida, and the other has crossed the ocean from his home in Ireland to be with you here this afternoon. Please, welcome to the stage, Universal's own Titans of Terror, creative director and executive producer of Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood, John MURDY, and senior director of entertainment and creative development at Universal Orlando Resort, Michael AIELLO. Midsummer Scream, welcome John MURDY and Michael AIELLO.
That's his name. What's your name? Let's get this thing going. Halloween Horror Nights 2025. Let's hear it. West Coast and East Coast.
This may be cliche, but it's every year. I mean, here's the reality. John and I are up here talking to you all, but we represent a massive team of people that are working together to bring this thing to life every year and to make it different every single year in as many ways as possible. The moments that we've had with fans is really the thank yous to the team. Again, we're walking the event. Sometimes we'll walk in the event after it opens, and we'll be together. We'll be a group of our team, kind of assessing the event, and people just coming up to us and saying thanks. We realize how much this event means to you, because it means just as much to us. Because that's the other reality is, like, I was a character. Most of our team grew up in the event, and we're now helping to create the event, and that means so much to us. To be able to do that, to bring you something that you can escape to every single year. Because I think that's really what this event is about, is we all want to escape to some place that is that warm blanket. And for many of us, all of us in this room at this convention, horror is that warm blanket.
Yeah, I think this is the thing that constantly amazes us, is that, the horror community, I think it's the coolest fan community there is, And it's not just like that it's cool, but it's the most supportive, it's the most inclusive, it's just, like all of us collectively, we found our place, And so when we think of our event as creating that place for you guys, that once a year, you get this time of year where you get to be with all your friends and all the people, that you love in this community. You get to experience it together. Just one thing I'll say about this particular question, like over 10 years ago, and this happens to me all the time, I had like a dad walk up to me and he's like, hey, my son's really into like your event. He's kind of obsessed with it. And I thought it was like a fad and it would pass, but he wants to do this when he grows up. I don't know what to tell him. Can you give him some advice? And I did, and I've stayed in touch with that family all these years. And this year, that same kid, who was a little kid who came to Horror Nights, just finished his first internship for us, working on Horror Nights.
You know? You got anything?
Nope.
Or... Hold that thought. Okay? We'll get to that. Earlier, we solicited questions on X for our fans to ask Mike and I, but you know, before we get to that, we're going to answer a lot of your questions today. We've got some surprises in store for you, but we thought it might be cool to let you guys be the first people to see the HHN 2025 commercial spot. Would you guys like to check that out? Okay, let me see if I can do this correctly. Awesome.
Yeah, that's great. It's going well.
You guys doing anything?
Halloween Horror Nights.
This is from Sergio Torres, AR7. Time for a short history lesson.
Take out your notepads, everyone. Here we
It's
go.
a tradition. We might as well get into this. Yeah, the answer is yes. Way back, the first year I did Horror Nights in Hollywood, 2006, we featured the director. Anybody here that like saw that event in 2006? Oh wow. Okay, I'll tell you a quick little funny story. So we wanted to film some stuff with the director, kind of like viral, like, you know, well, it was before viral videos really in 2006. We wanted to shoot something from the tram POV, so I put a camera crew on the tram, and I got a good friend of mine who was the lead singer in a band at the time called the Graveyard Farmers, and I said, hey, just, you know, over by kind of like the Bates Motel, this kind of wilderness area in the back lot, I'm like, hey, just when the tram goes by, just come walking out of the woods, you know, dragging a body. But I didn't tell anyone I was doing it. Don't recommend that. And we also featured Jack the Clown. He was the icon in 2007.
Bit of trivia, by the way,
okay.
on the director. His name changed when he came to Hollywood.
It did.
It did. He was Paulo in Orlando, and he was Pavel in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And then he was Billy in Singapore, I think.
Yeah.
So he's apparently an anonymous individual who just goes around the world changing his name. He's got.
Well, if you did what he did, you'd have to change your name.
Good point.
You know, you wouldn't want the authorities after you.
Right.
Oh, okay. Horror 9.
If no one heard that, he said, "Bring chance."
Now, it's time for a slightly longer history lesson. More lore. How much lore do you want? Okay, well, let's really quickly go through the lore for Hollywood Harry, okay?
I'm interested.
Okay, well, this is how he came to be. He started at Universal hosting a kids' TV show called Koodle's Carnival. His real name is Harold Kapowitz, and that was in 1958. As, you know, this is the proof right here. And then in 1964, he got asked, you know, that was the year we started the studio tour, and that was kind of the beginning of Universal Studios Hollywood as a theme park, and he became the mascot for the Universal City Studios tour. And there you can see him out there on Lancashire in front of the Universal sign, and there he is on the tram. And then in 1973, the studio canceled his television show.
I love that they actually got a photo of him reacting to that.
Yeah. And they replaced him with two different icons. They replaced him with Frankenstein Jr. in 1973 and a gorilla holding a camera.
Fair trade.
I didn't make this up. This is real. This is really, like, I was a little kid. I first came to Universal in 1972 with my family, you know, and Frankenstein Jr. was the icon of Universal Studios Hollywood and a gorilla holding a camera.
I see new icon.
Think of the possibilities. And so he just kind of hung around the front main gate of the park, kind of like those people that hang out in front of Groma's Chinese Theater, you know, trying to charge people for autographs. And this went on through the 70s and into the early 90s. But then he started getting all sketchy. And eventually security asked him to leave the property in 1993. But he didn't leave. He just went up into the hills that surround the Universal backlot, and he's been living there ever since. In 1998, people started noticing him on the studio tour and started taking pictures of him just wandering around the backlot next to the Psycho House. And, you know, at that time, the internet started coming alive and they started filming all these videos of Harry sightings, and they gave him this name. They gave him the name Hollywood Harry, and he was born in 2016. He hasn't been back for a while. Should he come back? Should Jack the Clown come back? I'll file that away. Let's start. Oh wait, this appears to be an Orlando person, Mike. So I'm going to have you read this one.
Okay, how long is your process for selecting which IP franchises you two, your collective teams, choose for the event? What goes into the process? Well, it's how much time do we have? Honestly, like the IP franchise process isn't just John and I. It is a massive team of people. We work with not only our insights team to kind of study what people are enjoying out there in horror pop culture. We look to our marketing teams to help inform us of what's out there and available. We have an amazing team that, along with John and I, approaching certain studios and individuals to seek out if they're interested in working with us. We also have IPs that come to us.
Yeah, all the time. So we actually start that process in like March. So like March of this year, Mike and I and a bunch of us would sit down in a room and start thinking about, okay, what do we want to do for HHN 2026? And we'll be doing a whole lot of that this week.
That's also why I'm here.
Don't follow us. All right, next question. How much do fans have impact on making creative choices for Halloween Horror Nights every year, like acquiring specific IPs for the year? This is from SoCal Tall Guy.
Oh, I didn't shout out the last one.
You guys know SoCal Tall Boy? All right. And I would answer that question with Exhibit A. Seriously, like,
You know, we could answer that question for you. Or we could ask the guys who made the movies. All right, let's bring to the stage DAMIEN, LEONE, the writer, director, producer of Terrifier, and the producer Phil Falcone.
What's up, everybody? Love you back. Wow, so what was that? What makes Terrifier a good candidate for HHN?
Yes, why do you think Terrifier is a good candidate for HHN?
Art the Clown. He's a fun, sick, sadistic, twisted son of a bitch. I think it's, even for me, I mean, this is sort of the first time I'm like in your shoes and I get to go in this house and be chased and taunted by my own character, you know? Like, that's really exciting, actually, because on set, we don't have that relationship.
It's a different fear.
You know, it'd be funny if we gave them real weapons for when you come through.
Good. What better way to go out, right?
how about you, Phil? Why do you think Terrifier belongs at Horror Nights?
I don't know, I've never been to Halloween Horror Nights, but I'm excited to be at both of them. I'm going to be in California and in Orlando, check them both out. As Damien has mentioned, we are on the other side of the camera, so we don't get to see it this time. We're going to live it, and I already told them I want to experience it, and I've never done a horror house.
He said, no.
Oh boy.
He said, I hope I don't shit my pants in there.
We'll hook you up, Phil.
What was the inspiration for Art the Clown initially when you first came up with him?
Yeah, just making a short film, and I wanted to put a bunch of horror, sort of, you know, classic cliche characters in this short film that I could use as a calling card, and I wanted to see if I could do anything interesting with them and put my own spin, and I wanted to try and do something different with a killer clown. And when I was designing him, I said, he can't be anything like Tim Curry's Pennywise. So I didn't want him to be colorful, I didn't want him to speak, I wanted him to have weapons instead, and I sort of wanted to turn him into a slasher. And it was really just based around this one scene, which is the scene in the short film The Ninth Circle, which was then put into All Hallows Eve, just with Art terrorizing this woman in a train station. It was supposed to be a bus, and that's actually why that scene exists at the end of Terrifier 3. And then...
It's a fabulous scene, I might add.
Did you have something to do with that scene?
I might have had a little bit.
Tom the bus driver, ladies and gentlemen.
And you like the old horror movies.
I do like
Yeah.
horror movies, and I do like rom-coms.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, so it was a little scene in this short film, and then it gets, there's creatures and demons after that, and Art's only in the first 4 minutes, but everybody who saw it back then said, what is going on with that clown? Like, he's too cool, he looks so creepy, you're gonna make more stuff with him, right? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make plenty of things, sure. And I was like, all right, I better write something else with this character. So then I made another short film called Terrifier, which is also in All Hallows Eve. And that's when I said, all right, I'm gonna turn him into a slasher now and see, what this guy's really about. And then that's when I sort of realized that there was something special. I didn't imagine it would turn into this, but I said, this character has something, there's a charisma there's something special, and I need to keep going. I need to get this character into a feature somehow. So that 20-minute short film Terrifier was sort of the proof of concept of calling card.
It's going to be the Terrifier theme music, and then you're going to hear like a radio, and I'm talking about Hollywood, you're going to hear the radio station kind of changing channels, static, hear a little blip of, the Clown Cafe theme song, and then it's going to land on a news report, and it's going to say, police are on the lookout for a tall, thin man wearing a black and white clown costume and carrying a large garbage bag. And while this news report is going on, there's two doors. The clown head door is the door you're going to be going through, but Art is going to appear standing behind that door, and then he's going to open the gate, and then he's going to come out. And I gave him another gate in the fence, so he can get real up close and personal with all of you.
That Art has taken it over. We painted over the clown that looks a lot like Jack the Clown and made it Art instead. So you can really, when you go into the house, you really get a sense that this is Art's world. He's now taken this fun house completely over. And then I think the next slide is the facade. There it is. That's it. One cool additive in the doorway that you're not going through, there on the right-hand side, that's a media wall that's going to give you a glimpse of several of the Terrifier characters. You're going to see Vicky, you're going to see little pale girl in there. So yeah, you're going to see all those characters kind of waiting for you on the inside. Her in the flesh, in the house, Sienna Shaw, and it is just an awesome costume. They did such an amazing job replicating it.
I already feel bad for this performer backstage, because, sorry, it's a visual. They're going to be like, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. But you have to have the wings.
I hope you have a lot of duct tape handy.
Let's talk about what makes Terrifier Terrifier, the kills. And I was really interested, when we first announced this, I was getting all these questions like, you guys aren't going to go. Oh yeah, we are. We're going to go there. And let's start with one of the most infamous kills. The hacksaw kill from Terrifier 1. What sick person thought up this particular kill?
I wanted to see something I hadn't seen in a movie before.
I hadn't seen that. Can't unsee it now. That was the entire idea, was just I want to do something I've never seen in a movie before?
Yeah, and it was, obviously me and Phil did the makeup effects in part 1, so that was that was something cool that I had in my pocket, was knowing how to do these effects and not, having to worry about a ratings board or anything. We were so under the radar, we could do anything, and I said, this movie, at that point, no following really whatsoever, except, there was a, nice group of people who really enjoyed All Hallows Eve, but, for the most part, nobody knew what this movie was or who this character was. And I said, people are gonna watch, why are they gonna watch this movie when they can watch, a $20 million Hollywood horror movie? And I said, we have to put things in this movie that they're afraid to put into their movie. And I said, I've seen a million slasher movies. I have to come up with something really cool that I haven't seen before. And actually, I started investigating medieval torture methods to see if anything piqued my interest. And I saw, and a few things did, and I saw a picture, a drawing of someone hung upside down, and two people at the end of this giant saw cutting this. Yeah, it's very
exactly.
yeah.
Unfortunately, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I said, could he pull that? Can I pull that off and have him do that alone with the girl? And I was like, yeah, I think I can do that. I mean, if I have the audience at that point, I was like, they'll stick with me for the rest of the way, or maybe I'll lose them all at that point. But yeah, no, we did it, and seriously, like huge, kudos and credit to Catherine Corcoran for going through that. I mean, that took a lot, and I had discussions with her during that, before we shot that scene, and she said, listen, if we're gonna do this, like, this has to be the coolest thing. Like, don't make me regret doing this. Like, if you're gonna do it, make it look super cool and make it be something memorable. And I think we did it.
At this point, there surely couldn't be anything else we could possibly announce. I mean, with this slate, it's so stacked. What else could we possibly do for you people? More! Well, okay, I'm gonna stand up for this. So, Where's Waldo, right? Yeah. I always thought it would be fun to do Where's Waldo like in a theme park. Except instead of Waldo, it's Art the Clown. So as you're traversing, if I may use that word.
You just did.
I did. As you're traversing the theme park, Art the Clown is out there, okay? I'm not gonna tell you where he is. You might be in a store. Yeah, you might be in a store, and you might turn around and he might be right behind you. You could go down and, to the Universal Plaza and plop down and go, hey, it's time for a drink or it's time for some food. And look across from you and there's somebody just mad dogging you. Right? You could go down the Starway down to the lower lot of the park. He might be down there too. He could be anywhere. So what we're doing, and we're doing this on both coasts, is
That's correct.
It's awesome to have a Terrifier haunted house, but we weren't satisfied with that. We were like, Art's such an awesome character. And we really truly believe this, guys, Damien and Phil. I mean, Mike and I grew up on Freddy, Jason, Leatherface, Michael Myers. We were like smack dab in the middle of the slashers. And there really hasn't been a worthy slasher icon until Art came around in a long, long time. And we want to pay tribute to that as much as we possibly can. So these pictures up here, they're kind of suggestive of what you might see in the park. I don't know, Mike, if you want to add something else to this.
No, I mean, it is exactly what you said. We want Art to be everywhere we can possibly put him, and also never tell you when that's going to happen. You will encounter him when you least expect it. And that's the really fun thing, and that is the character. He's
unpredictable.
Yes. So